Fisherman's Wharf is a cute little area by the port. It's pretty touristy these days, but still nice for a quick stroll, and you can definitely get some delicious seafood there. If you're in the area, stop by Boudin for lunch. It's a popular restaurant serving soups in their famous sourdough bread bowls.
So for lunch, we're at Boudin Cafe, and it seems like they're famous for their bakery and soups and stuff like that. So this is seafood clam chowder. There's a chicken club and Masha with her, what is it? Tomato rustic soup. And
it's really good. It's really good, and it's finally vegetarian.
And it's vegetarian and really good. There you have it.
Marin Headlands offers a fantastic view of the Golden Gate Bridge and the port. It's a bit tough to get up there without a car, but doable if you're up for a hike. Should take about an hour. On your way up, you will see there are multiple viewing points which offer slightly different views, but all are very impressive. And if you get a chance, go during sunset. You'll get absolutely awesome lighting.
The Castro district is known for being the first gay neighborhood in the United States. Its age as a gay mecca began during the late 1960s with the Summer of Love of the hippie and free love movement. It's also synonymous with Harvey Milk, who was an American politician and the first openly gay elected official in the history of California. He was fighting heavily for the gay rights community. You'll want to take a walking tour to learn about the sad and fascinating history of the area, or you could download a free audio guide. We used an app called Detour, and it was awesome. It gave a great audio guide of Castro District. If you only have a little bit of time in the city, the all-in-one walking tour is the perfect solution for you. It's offered by the Free Tours by Foot company, and it costs $7 to cover the cost of the cable car that you take during the tour. And the tour itself is a pay-what-you-want type of deal, so it's pretty much pay what you think the tour was worth to you. And it covers pretty much all of the historic must-see areas with the exception of the Mission District and the Castro. And it lasts roughly 5 hours and includes 1 hour break for lunch. The Golden Gate Bridge is the most iconic landmark of San Francisco. You would have seen it in a lot of different Hollywood movies such as Terminator, Godzilla, and even X-Men. It's really beautiful. You'll definitely want to take the walk across the bridge to take some stunning photos and videos. Just make sure you dress accordingly though, because it gets really windy. You could walk the whole bridge, but it takes around 1 hour each way, so if you don't have that time, just walk halfway. Another option to speed it up is to rent a bike, or if you have a bike, bike through it, or drive through. But keep in mind though, there's a toll if you were to drive through.
Muir Woods Memorial is a national park popular for its giant redwood trees. These are some of the oldest trees in the world, and their sheer size makes you feel tiny. The park is only about 20 to 30 minute drive from San Francisco, so if you don't have a car, you can get up there with an Uber for relatively cheap. But you must be warned, once you're up there is absolutely no reception, so you won't be able to call an Uber for your way back. So your options are call a taxi from the visitor center, walk for about an hour out of the park to catch public transportation from there, or 3, you can ask a stranger in the parking lot if they could just give you a ride down to the end of the park so you can order an Uber from there. And to be honest, that's what we did. So while transportation is a bit of a difficulty there without a car, visiting Muir Woods is an absolute must when you're in San Francisco. Napa and Sonoma Valley are some of the most famous wine regions in the world, and certainly in the United States. Given they're both only an hour away from the city, it's an easy and super fun day trip. Plan on visiting 2 to 4 vineyards in one day since each tasting takes about an hour. Keep in mind that some wineries require reservation for tasting, so double check that before you go. And tastings are typically between $25 to $45. We also suggest that you bring some snacks to have between the winery visits. Alcatraz is best known as the highest security inescapable penitentiary. It's also commonly known as The Rock, with many movie plots around breaking in and escaping the island. The most popular being The Rock with Sean Connery. So if you're visiting San Francisco, a visit to Alcatraz is an absolute must. Make sure though you book your tickets ahead of time as they book out pretty fast. Once on the island, you will take their audio guide taking you through the history and the stories of the prison. You will learn about some famous escapes as well as inmates like Al Capone, for instance, and why the dining room was the most dangerous room in the entire building. You should allocate about 3 hours for the ferry ride, audio tour, and some time to just roam the island.
Yosemite National Park is another site that's an absolute must when you're in the Bay Area. But it's pretty much impossible to do without a car, so you'll probably need to rent one. It's around a 4-hour drive from the city, so whether you're a hardcore hiker or you just want to take some beautiful videos and photos, Yosemite will definitely not disappoint you. It has a bunch of different hikes and trails of all different difficulties. You can spend a whole day or even a whole week in the park and you won't get bored. Before checking out the park though, check out some of the main sites and decide which ones you actually want to see, because you need to plan to go to the appropriate entrance to get there. The park is so large that it could take 1.5 hours to drive from one attraction point to another otherwise.